on this gorgeous and glorious Wednesday. It is the 10th. I can't believe we are 10 days into September. It makes me sad, isn't it? Just like a couple of days and summer technically is over. I always feel like summer's over in August here because all our leaves have been turning for a really long time. So it's just, same old, same old, same old, same old. Check out my shirt. I was too fat to wear this for a while, but now I am not, and I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty stoked about wearing my shirt. I was like, okay then. Here we go. I bought this shirt because I'm 4 years old mentally, just so you guys all know. 4 years old mentally. Hey, man, it happens. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sometimes you just can't grow up and you have like nostalgia and stupid shit for when you were young. And this is mine. My nostalgia is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I loved it. Yeah, I know. I'm like, 43 years old, going on 5. But that's okay. Sometimes you have to be a child at heart. And I know that I am a child at heart a little bit, Definitely been immature my whole life. I never had children, and I do believe that children is the one thing that, wakes you up to maturity real fast like. But I never did that because I'm a fucking Peter Pan, apparently. Good morning. Michelangelo was my favorite. Also, my husband and I believe we like pizza as much as we do because of the propaganda of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We believe it. Think about it. Think of growing up and every fucking second of your life. They're like, pizza, man. You got to eat some pizza. Why don't you eat some pizza? That's it. That's all they told us to do is eat pizza. Then they're like, book it, read books, and you get pizza. So like my husband and I now every weekend, we're like, we could have Italian. We could make some baklava. We could make a lot of things, or we could just, have fucking pizza again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. That is the one thing about this world is, and we all have it in common. We're all going to the same place. All of us. Like, that's it. There's no sticking around. I'm sure Bill Gates and all those people are trying to figure out a way to stick around, but there we go. We are all going the way, and we're all going to lose people over and over and over and over and over again. Let's see. I can't see. There's basically no pizza joints in the UK when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out. Fuck that. Dude, the UK has lost its mind. Because, let's be honest. We all know that America and the UK flung open its borders and they're like, third world countries, come in and destroy us, overthrow the fucking first world so we can bring Agenda 2030. That's what they did. It's all coordinated. You think that it's just a coincidence, a coinkydink that in the UK and the United States of America, they literally just ripped down their borders and ushered in tons and tons and tons of illegal immigrants. They're all seeking asylum. It almost feels like, imagine if you bought a yacht and people just started swimming up to your boat and they're like, I'm seeking a boat to save me. And it's like, I just watched you jump into the water of your own accord and swim here. You just want to be on my fucking boat. That's it. You just want to be on my boat. That's all. you're not seeking asylum. Now, the Ukrainian girl I get, like your country's at war. I'd be like, get me the fuck out of here too. I get you. I feel you on that. I totally understand. I'd be like, get me out of here. I don't want to be part of war. But most people seeking asylum means we just want money and stuff. And the UK and America started lavishing criminal illegals with tons of free shit. And here's what I don't understand is all these people are like pro-immigrant, anti-ICE, but what is your solution to make up to all the legal immigrants, everything they went through to become a legal citizen? Because you're like, fuck you. We just let anyone in. You're the only one that had to suffer and prove your worth. Fuck you and your ass. These criminals get whatever they want. Like, I'm kind of over criminals. I'm over violent criminals. I don't give a shit about mental illness anymore. I'm sorry. All I've noticed in my lifetime, I'm 43 years old, is they started coddling mental illness, and now our streets are full of violent criminals. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a fucking condition. And everyone has a stupid excuse of why they act like animals. I am all for, like, this 3 strikes rule, right? 3 strikes and you're out. I want to go back to that. If you're a violent person and okay, let's say you go to the bar and some guy smacks your lady's ass. That is not your fault if you threw hands. I understand a spur of the moment, like defending the honor of your lady. Where is there it is. This vitamin C is on mega sale in my store and it's great. So I'm going to use it right now. I understand that. But someone who throws hands in a situation like that isn't going to do it again. But someone who keeps getting arrested for hurting people and shit, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to say this right now because everyone's like, it's a hate crime. What happened to that Ukrainian girl? Dude, I don't believe in hate crimes. I don't believe in thought crimes. You thought the wrong thought. And because you thought the wrong thought, you get punished for your thinking. What the fuck is that? You're allowed to be a piece of shit. You're just not allowed to be a violent murderer or a violent asshole that punches people. So if your reason for punching a guy in the face is because he's gay, you're still just a violent criminal. I'm not for policing thoughts. Now, the dude that killed the white chick, he tried to like kill his own sister. No one's talking about that. My guess is his sister is not white. All crimes are hate. All crimes are hate. I don't care about mental illness diagnoses anymore. If you're violent, you don't deserve to be. It is a hate crime. What is it then? It's a fucking crime. You're not allowed to be racist. Oh, he thought racist thoughts. Like, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy for thought crimes. You're just a racist asshole that kills people. Okay, the Green River Killer hated his mother, who was a woman. So he targeted women and murdered them horribly. But everyone's like, oh, that's not a hate crime. Oh, because it's bullshit and stupid to say hate crime. He's a fucking murderer. Who cares if he hated women? That's a thought crime. You're allowed to have evil thoughts. Calm down. Fuck you, Francis. Don't you tell me to calm down. Who tells a woman to calm down? You're literally trying to start shit. If I wanted to start shit with a chick, I'd be like, you know what? You need to calm down. That's like the 2 words that you know is going to make everyone hate you. Like, I know it. Even if someone's going crazy, I would not say it because I'm like, that's an escalation. Lucky for you, I have read too many books on psychology. But let me tell you, in the future, you might not want to choose those words because literally no one likes them. Then you need to pick up some books on psychology and how to incite people. because calm down is like the number one phrase on how to incite others. I've just read too many books because I'm always trying to deal with people. I used to be with assholes. If there wasn't hate, they would do no crime. That's right. All crime is committed with hate. Like if you're hurting someone violently, there's hate in your heart and you're all fucked up. I don't give a shit about hate crimes. So the people trying to say the Ukrainian girl is a hate crime, I don't fucking care. What we can point out is how one-sided it is. Because I heard the audio of him going, I got that white girl. She called me the N-word. I got that whitey, the white girl. She's white girl. I got her. It's like, I mean, that's pretty clear what his motivation was there. And to pretend otherwise means you're disingenuous. And to pretend that one side of the spectrum doesn't prop up any crime that they can say is racist. And then when it is targeting other people, suddenly it's mythically and magically not racist. I mean, I've been listening to CNN. Who cares if it's racist? The judge is a criminal for letting out a psychopathic criminal on our streets. I'm done coddling criminals. I want to lock people away and throw away the fucking key. Why do repeat offenders, repeat pedophiles, repeat sexual assault people, repeat violent people, why do they keep getting on the streets? For what reason? Why? Fuck off. I'm sorry. Why? When we're tougher on crime, there's less crime. So literally all of this can be solved, but everyone's like, no, I love criminals, coddle them, hug them, give them kisses their mommy never gave them. I'm telling you, if Jeffrey Dahmer happened today, there'd be protests that he was just hungry. He's just targeted because he's a gay man. We love Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, something's wrong with people. If you're a criminal, no matter what color you are, you're a piece of shit. And I don't care what motivates you. You're literally only just a piece of shit. This can be solved, and people don't solve it because it's Agenda 2030, dude. It's using race instead of class to topple the Western world. You literally take people whose skin colors or identities are, different, and you uplift them above all others and you put them on a pedestal. That way the majority of people start to get fucking pissed. Then all of a sudden there's conflict. And at the end of the conflict is ushered in communism. It's going to be great. Yep, no one gets punished. And that judge that let him go with like 50 million convictions, she had a conflict of interest. She ran a thing. I'm going to use some Belief eye moisturizer. She ran a thing that tried to rehabilitate people. Guys, if you're a violent person, I barely at all believe in your rehabilitation. I think 3 strikes of sexual assault, anything like that, you're in prison at a minimum of 5 years. Or 3 strikes. 3 strikes, or maybe even 2 strikes for anyone who's violent, you're in prison for a minimum of 10 years. Do you think crime would still be skyrocketing? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. The only people getting hurt when a criminal, commits these terrible atrocities against everyone, a new ultimate supreme, some bacachio for my wrinkles, is us. We're the ones that suffer because we have to live on the streets with people who should be locked away in mental institutions. I don't care what sickness, what disorder. I don't care if you have dementia and you're trying to bite people's faces. You're violent. You have no reason being in polite society. And I understand that people with dementia once were people before their brains got eaten away by this disease. But once you start getting violent and you put everyone around you in danger, I don't get you. Insane asylum. You got to lock these motherfuckers up. And that guy that killed the Ukrainian girl, I just say, I'm sorry. It's like I want to say death penalty, but I'm so scared at how the government will weaponize that and put to death, innocent people. But it was so clear that that guy was not innocent. Like, it's on video, but with AI, we're probably going to have tons of videos with stuff like that. 3-strike rule in California. California worships criminals, though. I live there. They worship them. They're like, oh, man, we love you. Oh, like, I swear to God. And their sentences, they're like, you get 5 years. Oh, you walk after a month. How is that a punishment? You literally keep them in there. You keep them in there, period. You don't let them back out. You don't let them back out. I don't care if they were on good behavior to try to get back out. Fuck you. How about that? The taxpayer has to feed them. I believe in all the slave labor that they have now. Force the prisoners to do labor too. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck about a bunch of violent pieces of shit. I don't fucking care. Oh, the poor rapist. You're making him pick strawberries. Oh, the poor rapist. Fuck that guy. Why does anyone care about him? Why do we care more about the rights of evil criminals than we do the illegal slaves we bring over here to abuse in our fields and not give breaks and shit to? Fuck yeah, we need to make them work. I'm over it. Yeah, make them feed themselves, make them garden, I'm sorry, done. I'm done giving a shit about these people. I'm done watching people die. And I'm done giving a shit what color you are. There's plenty of violent white people too. Bye, Felicia. Eat shit. It's just annoying. It's annoying because it's so clear what we should do. And what we should do is stop these people. And all these bleeding heart fuckers came in and started caring more about the criminals than the victims. And it makes me really upset. I don't understand how anyone's getting away with this. They're trying to start a race war. Yeah, they have been. This is the Cultural Revolution. This is just like the Marxist Revolution in China. Only they knew they can't use class here because you can jump from class to class. You get drafted in the NBA, you're making some paper. So you can go to poor to rich as fuck, to NFL, you name it. Fuck prisons. What, you just want to end all their lives? Like, if a guy punched 3 of his wives in the face and just punched them in the face, your solution is to kill him? My solution is 10 years in a maximum security prison, forced to do labor, to contribute to society. Meaning prisons actually make things and good things come out of them instead of them being a fucking waste of our money. Our railroads are shitty. Gee, I know a whole bunch of people that we could put in chains to go fix them. Just an idea. What is that gonna do? Oh, you mean what? Are you serious? Did you hear anything I just said? That if prisons started producing products and started not being a drain on society and people had to serve full sentences being forced into slave labor, imagine you're like, I love to punch women in the face. Yeah, I just punch them in the face. And then all of a sudden you're serving 10 years where you're forced into slave labor. My guess is even though you still love to punch women in the face, that you come out and go, gee, maybe I shouldn't punch women in the fucking face. I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, you could be like, I just hate women. All I think about is punching them in the face, but I don't know if I got another decade of my life to be in a chain gang fixing railroads or being forced into labor in strawberry fields and shit. Don't know if yeah, they used to make license plates. Dude, get them to fucking work. Get them to work. Make them earn the money that's put into the prison system and make their lives suck so much ass that when they cut, because instead we're like, just go to prison and get in the butt by gangs who get you in the butt. I propose, instead of just having to worry about getting graped in your butt, that you actually produce something and be forced to do it. Where you're like, gee, prison's uncomfortable. I have to work 8-hour shifts. This fucking sucks. Boo. And that way, Mr. Guy who loves to punch women in the face goes, I think about doing it all day. All I want to do is punch women in the face, but I don't have another 10 years of my life. Well, recycling's a scam, unfortunately. So the garbage men in Joliet, Illinois gave me a nice lesson. Like, almost 99.9% of what you put in recycle bins, they just dump into the garbage dump. It's just a scam. It's a fucking scam. If prisons were profitable, there'd be more of them guaranteed. Yeah, but everyone's like, no, we can't hurt our beloved criminals, rapists, and women beaters, and people who murder children. Oh, they have rights. We can't force them to do labor. Fuck off. These same people are advocating for illegal immigrants to be abused in our country as cheap labor with no breaks, working fucking 19-hour days, even underage. They're like, oh, that's good, but protect our prisoners. Stop listening to these people. That's it. Stop listening to these people. Multiple offenders think of prison a lot more like a home, and being outside is vacation. Dude, make them work their balls off. Make their sentences far longer. No good behavior. Fuck off. How about that? Oh, you're being good now, but we are forced to do labor every day to live. I think being a productive member of society that contributes to society is a good thing. I think if everyone just loafed about, who the fuck would be making the bread for everyone to eat? Who would be tilling the fields for everyone's food? I think that's where we lose sight of why people work. Like, you're like, man, I love there's a crosswalk with a walk sign. Well, someone made that walk sign because they were forced into that daily labor. I think it is really good to have a regimen of work and things that you're doing. Like, I love selling skincare, multi-peptide eye primer. I love it. I love to sell skincare. It's what I like to do. It's what I do. Military camps, that would be great. No good behavior, you get out on time. Yeah, that's right. Bad behavior, they just keep adding to your sentence. Because some of these people can't be rehabilitated. So why would you knowingly dump violent criminals into polite society? Oh, well, he served his time. Also, why are people only getting 18 years for murdering people? Have you seen this shit? I watch true crime all the time. People are like, oh, you got a 15-year sentence because you helped chop up someone's body and murder them. I'm like, bro, that's how much that person's life was worth? Is 15 years? Like, if someone kills me and chops up my fucking body and helps burn me to a crisp and then dump my ashes and bones all over, they only get 15 years? What the fuck is that? Our system is broken. Bring back asylums. Who would work the fields? The slaves. I think once you commit crimes like this, we do chain gangs again, and we have them work the fields. I don't understand why we're like, no, we can only abuse brown people. Yay, abuse the brown people. Get them good. Abuse the prisoners. Fuck them. Fuck them. Why do people worship these people? I mean, they truly do. If you are advocating for the rights of prisoners, I'm over you. I'm not saying abuse them horrifically. I'm saying force them to do labor with proper breaks, chain them all together. Who will pick your strawberries? Gee, I know. How about all these wife beaters serving 5 fucking years straight in prison? They can think about the last time they beat their wife in the hot sun as they're picking all our strawberries. Bitch. Like, I don't understand why there's not more consequences to this shit. I'm over it. Aw, thank you, Lisa. I love my shirt too. Isn't it cute? Kamala Harris used chain gangs to fight forest fires while she was in California. I think Kamala's problem is she was forcing people who already served their sentences and wanted to keep them longer. And some of these people, like, I'm sorry, if you get busted doing cocaine, but you're not violent to anybody and shit, that's on you, baby. I think we should force people like that into rehab centers where they're not allowed to leave. It's like you have 1 year in rehab, not a month, because that's not long enough to shake it. And we all know it. That's just a fucking for profit bullshit. You want to help these druggies? You want to really help them? You force them into a 1 year rehab. Lock the fuck down. You let them go through their shakes and their sweats. Yeah, it was just pot smokers. Oh, yeah, she refused to prosecute the pedophile priest. I remember that. Probably because the church gave her a sizable donation, is my guess. This world. Something's wrong with all of us. That's what I think. That's what I think, guys. I'm just like losing faith in humanity. Because I don't know. Is there really anyone out there for prisoner rights right now? Outside of like Californians, they fucking love prisoners and shit. And like, look, I think we've hit a level of suicidal empathy and compassion. And I think a lot of it's coming from women. And the very thing that's very beautiful about us, which is our empathy and our compassion, has now been weaponized against us at our detriment. Like, we are harming this country. Rehab for a year with labor too. Labor on farms. Like, I don't think drug addicts need to be picking strawberries with wife beaters and murderers and shit. Sorry. But if we sat there and taught them, I don't know, job skills, like, hey, maybe you can learn how to become an electrician, something fucking meaningful in life. Why would we not want to do that? Hey, habitual, how the fuck have you been? Because I think that redemption is there for drug addicts far more than violent assholes. Far more. Far more. I truly believe it. By the way, I'm an Avon lady. I sell Avon. There it is, baby. There it is. I do. I sell Avon. So I posted this. I said, I don't care about your mental health anymore. All that's done is allow murderers and psychopaths to be coddled and dumped onto innocent civilians. It's suicidal empathy and compassion. It's suicidal. Will do, habitual. What's up, Diana? Farm labor will probably help with rehab, something to distract. See, I don't want the labor for the addicts to be some horrible experience. Being so hurt inside that you start harming yourself, I don't think merits the same punishment as someone who beats his wife or a multiple grapeist or someone who's violent all the time towards people. I mean, those people should be picking our strawberries and shit because that's hard and it's hot. But I do believe rehab should be forced onto druggies. Like, you get arrested 3 times. Sorry, this is twice. Actually, once. If you're an addict, like you're a heroin addict or something, 1 year in rehab, but something productive. The first 3 months, you're going to go through the shakes and the sweats, and you're probably going to be useless. But after that, the rest should be teaching them how to be a productive member of society. You know what I mean? I like the 3 strikes rule too. I'm just kind of done cuddling criminals, because as a woman, I went to New York City and I felt so fucking unsafe. I called my husband at night. I was in my old neighborhood. In my head, I'm thinking this is like the post Giuliani New York that I used to live in 2003. So safe. I was in Tribeca. I was fucking terrified. I realized my mistake because I'm like, it's getting late and my flight is so early. I can't stay here with my Avon ladies. And they weren't going to be walking back to the hotel for a while, which would have left me like with an hour of sleep. I'm like, I have to go now. So I started walking, and old school Tribeca, it was a ghost town, but it was perfectly safe. Perfectly safe when Giuliani ran that show. And, I was a young, hot model then in a mini skirt and high heels, and nobody fucking bothered me. I was so scared when I was walking through that. I'm like calling my husband, and I'm just like, husband, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid. Let's do something with my eyes here, shall we? There were scary guys, like, okay, when there's construction and there's those really small 1-lane streets, there were like gangs of scary people. All I smelt was weed everywhere. I'm sorry, I don't smoke weed anymore, but thank God when I was a pothead, I wasn't a piece of shit that forced other people who don't smoke weed to sit there and have to smell my weed all the time. Like, you're a total dick if you do that. Weed stinks. Almost like you've just come over and run over skunk. It is unpleasant, and no one should be forced to have to smell you smoking weed. You should have to do that at home, or they should have like weed bars where you have to be inside the weed bar where it's the weed bar. You could smell it walking down the street, like, oh shit, we're coming up on the weed bar. But just forcing other people to have to smell your bullshit, fuck off. Fuck off. But yeah, it was dark. It was scary. And I called him and I'm like, just talk to me. I'm going to be able to get back to the hotel, because there were certain streets I wouldn't walk down them. My hotel was right there. And I'm like, I am not, as a woman, walking down that fucking street lined with scary fucking high men. Sorry. And you could already hear them like, hey, I'm like, hell no. When I lived in New York after Giuliani, there was a cop on every corner. Every fucking corner. I remember I got scared living in New York, and I walked up to one of the cops and I said, sir, will you walk me to my door right there? And he was like, yeah. I mean, that's how great it was. I loved it. Just absolutely amazing. And now New York is this dangerous, absolute shit show. I don't understand how New Yorkers have allowed that glorious and beautiful city to turn into what it is. I mean, like, they learned nothing from the 80s and the 70s with Times Square, with all the hookers and druggies. They learned nothing at all. It's like they're going right back to it. It's very sad. Very sad. But yeah, I stayed on the phone with my husband, and I had to go way out of my way to get back to my hotel, because it was like every fucking street was full of unsavory, scary men just hanging out there. When I lived in New York, like, I'm sorry, the cops wouldn't let a whole bunch of dudes just sit there like, we're here getting high, harassing women. Yeah, that wasn't gonna fly. That's all it takes to deter most crime, a visible police presence, just standing there watching. Russ. When I lived there, I lived in the projects on Avenue D in Alphabet City, and they had a call, and it meant cops were coming. And they really, because bad guys don't hang out when the cops were there. So you'd hear cuckoo, cuckoo, and that was them telling each other, get the fuck off the streets. And you know what was great about it? You heard cuckoo all fucking day. Every time they tried to do something bad, cuckoo happened again, and then they were all off the streets. Youper native here. Since the legislation of pot in Michigan or north side of town reeks often, it's so frustrating. I used to be all for legalizing marijuana. All I've seen is it's destroyed the Western world. Everyone's like, just get high everywhere, man. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Stoners used to not be that annoying. They're just fucking annoying. They like, when I was in New York City, you have to walk down the sidewalk. This guy's just smoking a joint. And I'm watching the joint smoke hit like a 93-year-old New York grandma in the face. She was appalled. She was disgusted. She was so small, and good for her for running around New York City. I was like, that's awesome. And I'm like, these disrespectful pieces of shit are... it's as bad as a smoker being in your face. You know what I mean? Just go home and smoke your weed, you fucking moron. Why? Why do you have to sit there and make everybody else smell it? I'm so glad I was like a cool pothead, and I never did that shit. I was like, I'm just going to go home and rip some bongs. Just go home. It's okay. Just go home. Tried the cashmere concealer. It works great. 100%. I hate the smell. It doesn't smell like marijuana from back in the day because the government got involved. And you know what they did? By the way, I'm using the Idol palette right now. The government ensured that the weed is so strong, and it's to placate us. It's to keep us in the matrix. I am completely convinced, because even when drugs were illegal, guess who was pushing them all on the streets? The fucking CIA, the FBI. They're the ones putting this shit back on the streets. I think keeping Americans dumbed down is why COVID happened. All this shit. People just sat there, just get high, man. Just let the government tell you what to do, and just watch them allow criminals to fill our streets and harm and murder and maim us. But it's okay because I'm high. Yeah. I really believe it's the dumbing down of civilians to usher in stuff like Agenda 2030. I do. Or opening our borders. Everyone's so high. What's wrong with they're just people, man? Why have a nation with any laws at all? Why? And here's my thing, and I always say, why? What do they propose to refund all the legal immigrants, the ones that came here, paid their fees, did what they were supposed to do legally, and then you insult them by being like, oh, but the criminals get all the free shit, and they get coddled, and we want them here. It's like, why even have immigration or visas or any of that? It's chaos what these people are proposing. Absolute fucking chaos. It's ridiculous. CIA worked with Lucky Luciano and the mafia. You know what? I wanted to talk about this. Gang culture needs to be fixed. And I'm going to say, born and raised in a very Italian-American household, I know the history of my people. And you know what? My people used to be assholes. There's a show like The Sopranos about them, right? I'm sorry, but Italians cleaned their shit up. Italians had a stigma. And they're like, oh, we can't reward this culture anymore. It makes us look terrible. I think it's time for the Black community and the Mexican American community to do the same thing with gangs. Because let's be real, there's no badass white gangs, except for maybe, Hell's Angels and stuff. But we need to shun people like this. Shun. Just as the Italians shunned the mob. They would say that they would F their own mother and kill their own brother. That was a saying that I heard growing up. And I hate to say it, but the mob had way more respect than gangs today. Gangs today will just harm anybody who gets in the way. And the mob back in the day only harmed each other. Some big problems going on here, people. Aryan Brotherhood. I just don't see. I was born and raised in Joliet, Illinois. What I saw were Latin Kings, 2-6, Gangsta Disciples. I didn't see the Aryan Brotherhood anywhere. When I went into Chi-Town, I didn't see the Aryan Brotherhood anywhere. I don't know where they operate or where you can actually see them on the streets, but I do know all the places you can actually see gangbangers on the streets, on the corners. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's time for communities to clean themselves up, just as the Italians had to clean themselves up. They're like, there's a problem here. But yeah, where do the Aryan Brotherhood operate where we can see them on the streets as we do the Chi-Town gangs, Joliet gangs? Where is that? Can you name the city? I want to know. I've only ever seen American gangs on the streets. Now, Hell's Angels, Outlaws, I've seen motorcycle clubs. I'm talking about the Aryan Brotherhood. Where are they on the streets? Where? Because I don't see them anywhere. I know that I wasn't allowed to wear certain colors to school. I know that they bussed half of our town from across the town to our school so there wouldn't be gang wars between Joliet West and Joliet Central people. All I see is CIA. It's just Harrison, Arkansas. Really? See, I don't think it's comparable. I think it's laughable that this is being compared. Like, even in LA, there's gangbangers everywhere, not the Aryan Brotherhood. They're all in prison. Now, that I would believe. With their tats and stuff. I think if judges were held accountable for what they did, I think they would no longer rule anything anymore. I don't know. But I would like someone to be held accountable. I think releasing monsters back on the streets. Like, come on, dude. All right, what are we going to use here? I think I'm going to use this guy right here. This is our Love at First Sight eyeshadow palette. Yes, that's fun. I like this eyeshadow on my finger. It feels creamy. I know it's not creamy, but it feels creamy. My wedding anniversary is this Monday. This Monday. And you know what? I'm not going to post any pictures of us, and it will still have happened. We're not going to go anywhere. It's so expensive to go out to eat. It's so expensive. And you know what? I got to straight up say, so I live in the middle of nowhere. And there's a couple of estheticians in town. Now, they are considerably cheaper than what you could get a normal signature facial for in LA in like 2015. I don't even know what a facial would cost today in LA. But I go every 6 to 8 weeks because I have a problem popping pimples. And my pimples don't pop. Like, they just sit there. So I need someone to get rid of them. Otherwise, I'm going to scar up my face. So I found this rad chick. She's a little bit of a drive, but I go to her and people are like, wow, you go that much? And I'm like, I don't think you understand when you don't live in a big city, like what the cost of these things are. Los Angeles facial. Let's see. Not laser. Okay. Face of Jewels. Facial spa. Website. Let me see. 10 years in the business. Acne, anti-aging menu. Treatments. Let's just say acne treatments. What is she charging? $200 fucking dollars. Holy shit. That is like 2.5 facials for me. New client skincare consult. $200 fucking dollars. A hydrofacial. $325. No wonder why people were like, you go and you get these facials. This is what this chick uses on me. Exfoliation, extraction, and serum. Okay. They charge almost $300 for what I get for under $100 in LA for a facial. I'm talking normal facials, no lasers, just where they extract and they pop. Woohoo! I have the most frustratingly stubborn pimples that never go away. Dude, Stella, I will start picking. No codes yet. No codes yet. I will start picking my face like no one's business. I have a problem. I wish I didn't have that problem. It's like once I see the zit, I start to psychotically obsess over the zit. And I know I shouldn't pick. In fact, I have little scabs right here. Little scabs because I picked. What? I've never had a facial. A facial is like they steam your face and then they like pop pimples. And this is just a normal, not anti-aging signature facial. They might put an enzyme peel on, like one of those things that tingles a little bit on your face. And they steam that off. And then you come out and then, your pimples are popped, but not by you. So you don't have big scabs. You don't have big scabs on your face. Because I get hormonal acne. Like, look, see that? I picked. Do you see the scab right there? Oops. And I told her, I'm like, dude, because I'll wait 6 to 8 weeks before I go in. And I'm like, I fucking couldn't wait. I picked. And she's like, stop picking. I pick and squeeze spots, scabs, and scars everywhere. Well, my face was really starting to scar here. And I kept using Avon's alpha hydroxy. We have the retexturizing smoothing fluid. We have the actual alpha hydroxy peel. And then we have the retexturizing peel pads. And this helps with post-acne pockmarks. But I'd like to not have the pockmarks. I need to stop picking my face. I need to stop. Hi, baby. Are you a dog? Sorry. There is a little snoot. Come here. Come right here. Come right here. Say, there's my snoot. Oh, thank you for the lick. You're so generous. So generous with the little lick. So generous. Did I have famous neighbors in Manhattan Beach? I could never afford living there. And I could barely afford it when I was there. Drained out all my income. I don't care about famous people. I did not like Manhattan Beach. It's a bunch of rich, snobby people. All these women kept getting busted for prostitution. They're like bored doctors' wives, and they started doing high-end hooking. I'm not even kidding. It's a real shit show over there. Truly, it's a shit show. My dog loves the cats. Overpour aesthetics if you live in the Chicagoland area. How much do they cost? Because it's $100 or cheaper where I am because I'm in the middle of nowhere. But my question is, how much does it cost when you're in cities? Because I just looked at LA. It was like $300. Fuck that. Fuck that. Nope. So I shared this. Yeah, $75 for a facial sounds more like it. So this woman was hacked to death by this dude while walking her dog in the park. Women must arm themselves with guns, period. All these people are like, pepper spray. Pepper spray is great if there's not a breeze or if you're not in an enclosed area. Because people were talking about the people on the train pepper spraying the guy that stabbed the Ukrainian chick, right? I think I got this at Target. Have you ever had pepper spray or bear spray go off in an enclosed area? At the Glacier National Park airport here, some asshole rented bear spray because you can like rent it and return it at the airport. And it went off near baggage claim. And it was just a little spritz. And they had to shut the whole fucking airport down. No one could breathe. Have you ever had the tiniest little spritz of pepper spray go off in an enclosed area? $100 for a facial is great. I think that's great. You're not, totally fucking people over, and may your tips be 50%. I met Chrissy Mayer. She sucks in real life. What did she do? What did she do? Did she not live up to your expectations? Was she short with you? So I remember being in the airport while my grandma was dying of cancer. My grandma raised me from birth. And I was so fucked up, and I'm trying to not show it. And people were coming up to me asking for pictures and shit. And I'm sure they could report that I wasn't the greatest then. But I was going home to watch her die. You know what I mean? That mug looks insanely heavy. I like big mugs. This way I can say I've only had 2 cups of coffee. Look at the size of this. Only 2 cups. She ostracized me as soon as she met me. I wasn't welcome. Why? What happened? As soon as she met you, where? And I always believe there's 2 sides to every coin. I mean, who knows? Did you fart? I'm serious. Like, I'm sure people have stories about me. Like I said, I was in the airport going home when my grandma was dying of cancer, and I might not have been, the best human being. That's for sure. Came completely out of nowhere. Here's what, and I want to say this about the Ukrainian chick, and I want to say this to chicks. 1, she clearly didn't know America. As a woman getting on public transit at night, that's very dangerous. I'm sorry. It's fucking dangerous. It's fucking dangerous. 2, with all the open seats, she chose to sit with her back to a man. Like, no thought or consideration was put into where she sat. Now, me, I would have seen a train full of people and I'd be like, you know what? I'm sitting next to a woman, or I'm sitting alone if I had to ride the train. 2, the people who still put in earbuds, I don't understand you.
I don't understand you at all. I won't even wear them on a plane. With the way people behave on planes, I'm not wearing earplugs on a fucking plane. I'm not playing, dude. This world is fucked up. I don't understand why people trust the people around them to do right by them to the point where they're willing to leave themselves that vulnerable. So unfortunately, and she's not from America, she probably doesn't get it. And I'll tell you, in Russia, I felt safe as fuck. And Ukraine, I'm sorry, it was Russia like 2 seconds ago. I know everyone wants to pretend that it wasn't Russia 2 seconds ago, but if you can take a guess what language they speak there, it's really crazy. You would never guess the language of Ukraine. What do you think they speak there? It's crazy. Russian. Because it used to be part of Russia. Russia is very safe. The parts I was in, I'm sorry. That shit was safe. They have cops everywhere. Now, are they maybe a little hostile towards Americans and shit? Yeah, a little bit. Little bit. But most of them are just amazed that an American is there in Russia. They're like, oh shit, you're from America? What the fuck, as you're running around the red square? I am just putting my Glimmer Sticks eyeliner just in the corners, and then I'm using this slanted brush to blend it out to get a nice smoky look. That watched her die. Dude, the passengers on that, was it a train that watched her die? She died alone. No one helped her. No one helped this poor, tiny foreigner who got stabbed in the fucking neck. They all watched her die. This is why I want nothing to do with cities. The culture has festered and rotted. People in cities, there's something broken. And then when people do something like Daniel Penny, they try to destroy your life. Which is another very sad thing. Because the guy Daniel Penny went after and subdued was just as fucking nuts as this guy and had just as long of a rap sheet and was screaming that he was going to kill people on the train. But then Daniel Penny's the bad guy for making sure it didn't happen. Unbelievable. Yep, they walked past her. They did nothing for that chick. And I'm like, it reminds me of that story in New York City. All these people, I forget what they call it. All these people were in their apartments and they listened to a woman get murdered outside their window and nobody did anything. This woman was screaming for help, all this stuff. There's something wrong with cities. It is like a matrix that sucks out your soul. I am telling you, something is wrong with inner cities. It's that there's like a loss of community. They normalize it, avoiding and ignoring each other. It took almost 2 minutes for someone to come help that chick. And I'm pretty sure she was already dead. And the guy that came over to help her, and she was like already dead on the floor, I think he had just got on the train. So these people who had been riding the train, who saw the whole thing, did nothing to help this tiny, teeny, petite foreign woman who had to die all alone. Now, some people say the footage was edited. From what I read, they edited out her death, her eyes rolling in the back of her head and all that shit. They took it out, I think, out of respect for the family. You know what I mean? Well, there was blood everywhere. And he was walking around with blood spilling, and there was blood spilling from her. And she was weeping and holding her neck and collapsed to the floor. I mean, one could only deduce with the blood splattering everywhere. Yeah. There is a rot in cities. It is a rot of the human soul. Something is wrong with us, guys. I can only think like how scary that must have been to die alone. So many people who aid others in like car wrecks and stuff like that. Even if the person doesn't survive, the gift that you're giving this person by being there, it is a gift. It is a beautiful and wonderful gift to sit there and be with someone and comfort them when something like that is happening. And it doesn't take much. You know what I mean? But for some reason, nobody wanted to help this chick. Like, I can't stand wounds and stuff, but I highly doubt I would just sit there. I mean, she crumpled on the floor, blood's pouring on the floor, and people are just standing around like, gee, would you look at that? Look at her die. And she's still moving on the floor. Look at, oh, yeah, bleeding out and everything. They did nothing. I understand getting over the first initial shock. Like when it happens and you're standing there and you're like, oh, shit, I understand that. Sometimes it takes a second for the wheels to turn in your brain and tell you like, oh, something just happened. You know what I mean? That I get. But there is cultural decay and rot when human beings can just sit there and watch somebody die like that, dude. Something's deeply wrong with that city and the people in it. And I hate to say it, they're not the only city. Okay, so here's the thing. The passengers around her were black. Okay. None of them sat right next to this guy. Do you think he still would have done this if she went to the back of the train? She put herself, I mean, she has like earbuds in. She's on her phone. She is not aware of her surroundings at all. And put her back to a scary guy late at night on the train. And I'm not victim blaming. I just feel she had no street smarts at all. This happened in Charlotte. Now, what really bothers me is we all know that if the races were changed and it was a white guy saying, I got that black girl, I got that black girl, they would lose their shit over this. And for me, I don't really give a shit about what race anyone is. This is a psychopathic murderer who deserves to die. I don't care what his skin color is. I do care that it is very clear that the news and everyone else only give a shit if the races are switched. Yeah, she had no situational awareness. But in her defense, as I said, I've been to Russia. Ukraine was Russia just 2 seconds ago. That's why they all speak Russian. And it was very safe. It was very safe. Yes, if the victim was black, there would probably be riots and all this other shit. And I'm like, something's wrong with our country. Something's wrong. Elisa, no. What I'm saying is she didn't feel safe because she was in America. She probably felt safe because in her country, public transit is safe. And I do believe the anti-white rhetoric, colonizer, white people bad, blah, 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 systematic racism, all of this has created this horrible juggernaut that's not going to stop until we all say, hey. But again, if this was a white dude that did it to a black chick, to me, equally as awful. Fucking kill this guy. He's an animal. He never should have been on the streets. That fucking judge that put him on the streets is a piece of shit. She should be publicly shamed nonstop until she literally moves to Brazil and changes her name. Yeah, no one stayed with her. They just let her bleed to death. It was so sad. By the way, I'm an Avon lady. I sell Avon, adriennecurry.com if you would like to support me and how I make a living in my life. Some streamers just, they want you to send them free money or, subscribe to them here or there. I don't need any of that. I just want you to get some Love at First Lash microfiber mascara or some Avon Bug Guard or some Skin So Soft body lotion with retinol in it so you can treat your body with anti-aging. In the old days, the bad guys feared being in town square for doing horrible things. Now the death row inmates live longer than the victims' families waiting for justice. Boom. I'm tired of what everyone's tired of. I'm tired of people only caring if it's an evil white guy that does something to like a black person. To me, they're all animals. Fuck them. But I am tired. Like, I'm not buying into the race narrative. I totally want the 3 strikes and you're out, 10 years in prison, no getting out on good behavior, chain gangs, forced labor, you name it. I'm ready for it. But the fact that we all know that if this was a white dude that did this to a black chick, that there'd be riots all across the country and the news would be like, oh, the racisms, the hate crimes, the white supremacy, the MAGA, KKK. They would be doing that. And that's what's sick. It's very one-sided and it's sick. I don't think either side should exist. I don't believe in hate crimes. Those are thought crimes. I believe in crimes. If you're a murderer, you're a murderer. F off. It shouldn't be called a hate crime. There should be no fucking such thing. A man who murders his wife does it because he doesn't love her. A pedophile targets children not because he loves them so much. The Green River Killer purposely targeted females. He said he hated women because of his mother. He hated his mother, who was abusive to him. And I don't believe that's a hate crime either. I think they're all equally just crimes. To me, it's very Marxist to raise some crimes above others. You know what I mean? Like, if you murder a guy because he's gay, you can just be like, I hate that guy because he's gay. That's not a crime. You murder him, you should be just as guilty as anyone else that murders anyone else for any other reason. Who cares about your reason? Fuck you, you're a monster. All this does is divide people, and it's on purpose. It's on purpose. George Floyd wouldn't have been on the streets anymore because he was a multiple offender. He had done so many wrong things. He wouldn't have been out on the streets for that to even happen. Thank you, user 1111. He would have been safely serving his sentence. But our judges and our justice system, the DAs, all they want to do is unleash violent, awful criminals on Americans. And it's bullshit. I hate it. I hate it so much. I really do. All right, let's blend the shit out of this. I'm just over all of it, you guys. I'm so over it. So over it. White people don't go around killing blacks. How do you know that? You can't convince me some white person hasn't killed a black person because they hated that they were black. But who cares? You're just a murderer. I don't believe in thought crimes. Just because a guy kills me because he hates all women, I don't believe it's a hate crime. It's just fucking crime. If one of my best friends was murdered because he was gay, who cares? He was murdered. Like, the crime of a naughty thought. The idea of that is stupid. It's dumb, and I've always thought so. A crime is a crime, man. There aren't crimes that are more special. So stupid. Whoever thought this shit up is a fucking moron. and you've done nothing to help American society. But yeah, I would love if prison sentences would get more strict. Everyone talks about prison reform. Yeah. Chain gangs, bring them back. Forced labor. Pick all our strawberries, potatoes, you name it, get them out there. Everyone's like, oh, the price of our produce is going to go up. No, it's not. Bring in the wife beaters and the murderers and shit and have them bake out in the sun. Chained up to each other so they can't get away. It's going to be great. And I don't feel bad at all. Again, the same people who screech to keep illegals here are the same people who screech to coddle prisoners. Abuse brown people, underpay them, and don't give them breaks and break workers' rights and all this shit. That's fine for them, but don't do that to prisoners. That's some good brainwashing there. I say do it to the prisoners, dude. Do it to the prisoners. And I'm not talking about abuse the prisoners, force them to fucking work. Force it. Make them productive members of society. If we have to feed them and house them, make them produce shit out of those prisons. It will only help American society. That's it. Force them to make furniture. American-made furniture. There's so much that we could accomplish in this country if we stopped coddling criminals, and the criminally insane need to go to mental institutions. Again, if you have dementia so severe that you're physically harming, biting, and violent towards everyone around you, you should not be part of polite society anymore. You have to be locked up. And I'm sorry, but we can't, as a society, function with people like this. Yeah, microchips. We can't function allowing criminally. So you walk down Hollywood Boulevard and you're taking a gamble with your bodily health. There's so many fucking insane people. And a lot of them are multiple violent offenders just let right back out on the streets. Same in Skid Row, which downtown LA, almost all of it is Skid Row now. It's so bad. It's just festering rot. And the reason we have all this rot in our cities is because we don't punish these people. And again, I don't care what color you are. It's not about color. It's about violent repeat offenders. Because again, that guy that stabbed that chick, his own mother was like, I've wanted him locked away forever. From what I hear, he violently attacked his own sister. His own sister, who, my guess, based on his skin color, this is my guess, is not white. That's my guess, is that this dude's sister is not white. Call me crazy, but last I checked, he does not look like his sister would have been white. I love my eye makeup today. Very pretty. Very pretty. A little illuminating primer. Never hurt nobody. But yeah, I think everyone's wrapped up in the race thing. I think it's appropriate to point out that the news and everyone else would treat this story completely different and make it all about race if the races were swapped. That needs to be shamed. These people like CNN and stuff, they need to be mocked and ridiculed for doing this. But I'm a huge advocate that we get rid of hate crimes, and a crime is a crime. And they should all be equally fucking handed their ass after doing it. That's what I believe.
Murderer, Karen, murderer, CEO doing bad things, murderer. Do you think there'd be less murders if we locked people down who committed violent crimes? I'm all for the 3 strikes rule. I'm tired of coddling criminals. We've tried it their way, and their way was mental health. It's a crisis. And to watch CNN go on and on about this guy's mental health. Listen to this. Conservative news media is just as bad as liberal. It's just as biased sometimes. So I don't play that game either. Replace. Okay, listen to what this chick, listen to what she says.
Want to be there.
Yeah, and it's
about
difficult
forcing them to be there.
When you are mentally ill, you have a hard time knowing that.
Oh, the evil murderer. Oh, he's mentally ill. Oh, he's struggling knowing he's mentally ill. Oh, the precious murderer. I don't give a fuck about mentally ill anymore. Fuck off. Go away. No one cares. 0 people. Unbelievable, this chick.
Want to be there.
Yeah, and it's
about
difficult
forcing them to be there.
When you are mentally ill, you have a hard time knowing that you are mentally ill. But also, I mean, people like Charlie Kirk, they've been looking for opportunities to make this some sort of like reciprocal George Floyd situation.
It's because they're calling you out on your hypocrisy. Because we all know that if the races were switched, that these 2 motherfuckers right here, these 2 assholes, this is a pretty chick. She's the smuggest asshole I've ever had to listen to. She's so smug.
And that's the part that I think he's almost giving away the game. And
the game is, if the chick was black and the dude was white, these 2 would head the "it's all about white supremacy and evil MAGA KKK." We all know this. I don't believe in hate crimes. I don't care if the guy stabbed this chick because she was white. I don't care. He's an evil murderer, and lock him up and throw away the fucking key forever. I don't care about his mental illness. I think the judge that let him back out on the streets should be held accountable in some way for letting him back out on the streets. I think every judge that kept re-releasing him should. But these 2 need to be shamed publicly for the racial divide that they perpetuate and push by constantly pushing race narratives if the races are reversed. I don't care about racisms. I don't care about who commits more crimes and all this shit. We make punishment actual punishment again, and I guarantee you crimes are going to start just drying up, baby. We start locking away. If you are so severely autistic that all you do is harm everyone around you, I am so sorry, but it needs to be an institution. If you're so demented with dementia that you're biting people and harming people because your brain ain't right, asylum. Like, bring them back, and we need it. So, yeah, I'm not fanning the stupid racial narrative, because this racial narrative has been pushed to usher in Agenda 2030. It is why they have all our borders open. Race hustlers and fearmongers. That's right, Spike. They have all our borders open here and in the UK. They want to topple the first world and usher in world dominant communism so that the WEF can have its Agenda 2030 and everyone's equal except for the ones at the top. The 1% are going to be great, but not us. So how do you do that? You literally topple the first world. You allow all this shit to happen. So when it hits a fever pitch, we're begging for all our rights to be taken away. She was made a judge without a law degree. I did not see that, but I'm not shocked. What hypnotizes people like that guy who killed the girl on the bus to do that, knowing how bad it is after the fact? You'll go to prison because he's been in and out of prison.
He has like 24 convictions. All he's done is physically harm people, and there's never a real repercussion for it because our judges go naughty, naughty, and then they let out sexual offenders and rapists and wife beaters and all these violent thugs and psychopaths back. Your mental health means nothing. You are a psychopath when you're hurting other people, period. I don't care what mommy used to do to you. I don't care if you have schizophrenia. You're fucking nuts. Eat shit and get the fuck away from society. Just go away. Just go away forever. Prison means nothing to him because he's never kept there. He's never kept there. They're like, oh, rehabilitate. Oh, it's magical. He'll be rehabilitated. 3 strikes, you're out for fucking ever out of polite society. You keep physically harming people, eat shit. See you later, motherfucker. 10-year minimum. No good behavior. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'd rather have prisons full of people than our streets full of these assholes. See ya. Why do we have to live in fear? Because there's a section of people, oh, prisoners have rights. We love them. They have mental health issues. Dude, if you're someone whose entire life is lived by bragging about or advertising your fucking mental health, F you. I don't give a shit about your ADHD or anything else. Eat ass. I am tired of catering to these people. Bye. Have a good time. What's really sad is this lady is so pretty and she's so smug and awful. And these two are so awful. And they're clearly very racist against white people. And they are overjoyed anytime they can push white man bad narratives. If we lived in a day and age, and this is why I say I'm not standing up and going, oh, there's an issue with black people doing this. Because that's what these people do. So if you want to follow their footsteps and pushing the stupid racist shit, fuck off. Being racist is not a crime. You're just an asshole. Killing people is. And I don't care what color you are. If you're punching your wife in the face, prison 5 years straight. 5 years straight. Prison. Like sexual assault, they'll give them like 1, 2, 3 year sentences and then they're out in 3 months or a month on good behavior. Nope. You force yourself on a woman, you're there for like 3 years minimum. And allow judges to be like, this guy was so violent to his wife, he gets 20 years, 15 years. I'm all for it, dude. None of us want these people on our streets. None of us. Do you think all the gangbangers would be out on the street harming each other if they were forced to stay in prison for 10 years straight, no good behavior, and forced to do labor? And not like torture. I'm not talking about torture, but forcing them for 8 hours a day to do labor. Oh, you don't want to do labor? Here's solitary confinement. Enjoy that. Before you know it, they're all going to happily start whistling as they go to work like the 7 dwarves. There was a great line in Matt Walsh's recent film, Racism Isn't Dead, it's on life support. It's all bullshit and it's bad for you. So yeah, I always want to warn everybody. Don't be like, oh, this was reverse racism. Who cares about racism? Stop coddling criminals. Also, stop allowing radical progressives to push a narrative that, oh, there's all this racism and whites want to harm black people, because it's not fucking true. It's not true. Don't do what these race hustlers do. Both sides. Stop. Screw criminals. Get them out of here. The end. And this should be bipartisan, and it shouldn't matter if you're Asian or Latin American, Mexican American, Puerto Rican, Alaskan, if you're from Idaho, Chicago. If you're a piece of shit criminal, fuck you. But yeah, I don't like look up to these two and be like, I can't wait to weaponize racism when it benefits me. But we can call them out that they are the ones willing to do it every single time. That's my stance. F racists, but it's not a crime. Did you see the two girls going to France and got on the wrong plane and went to Africa instead? That's hilarious. What happened to Stop Asian Hate? Once they saw that it wasn't just white people hurting Asians, they stopped sharing anything about that or caring. It is well known that Mexicans and black people have beef and Asians and black people have beef. Well known. Like if you're honest with yourself, it's well known. There's beef. There's beef. Not all, but there is beef. A rapist is a rapist. That's right. No matter what color. So someone's like, you wouldn't have cared if this was a white guy that did it. Yes, I do. 100 prison for life. Forced labor. Let's go, baby. Get every piece of shit off the streets. All of them. Bye. I'd rather sit on a bus as the only white chick on a bus full of black Christians that just came out of mass. And they have the most fun at their masses. Let's be real. I'd rather sit there than on a bus full of like white woman beating dudes. Like, sorry. Which bus do you want to get on? This one's full of white people that do bad things. This one's full of some black people just got to church. Black people out of church. Bye. If the attacker was white, we'd be hearing about this in the media and wouldn't have to talk about it ourselves 100%. As I said, we should call that out, but we should not perform the same behaviors as these two rotten people or Al Sharpton. We should never pick up the mantle of being like, it's a hate crime. And shit. No. Fuck that. I don't believe in any hate crime. Crime is crime. There aren't more special crimes than others. That's true, Arya. Black people have beef with each other over lighter skinned black people and darker skin. It's crazy. Everyone's an asshole. That's what I learned. But being an asshole isn't illegal. People are saying black people need to be held accountable for one guy. Should all of us whites be held accountable for the guy who just unalived 8 children? No. What did you hear anything I just said? The people saying that are doing it because for the last 5 years, they've been vilifying white men forever. And anyone with a brain or functional brain cells can see that they've been doing it. I'm saying the eye for an eye, getting back at them for doing the same thing. And I mean them by the media. Don't behave like these people. The guy's an animal, period. An animal, period. Lock away animals. And if that means that most of the animals we lock away happen to be from India, sorry, you're an animal, you're an animal. And then non-animals of all colors will not be locked away. It's so simple. It truly is a simple solution. It's awesome. I know you're right, Heather. I mean, the statistics are there and they don't lie. I think teaching a culture of victimhood and someone being the bad guy is going to lead to bad things. But I also don't believe in behaving the same way. I don't believe in vilifying a whole people like they've done white males and stuff. I don't believe in that. Just like someone was like, you should organize a protest. I'm like, I fucking hate protests. And protesters annoy me. And so do activists. So why would I organize that? I'm not going to do the same thing that annoys everyone else. No. The correct headline should be male repeat offender murders woman on train. Leave race out of the headline. Well, they did, but they wouldn't leave race out of the headline if it's a white guy. And that's the issue that we should be taking, not behaving the same way as them. I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill, guys. No, I'm not going to behave like the very people that I think are buttholes. That's right. White people will run into black people every day in Walmart. I'm lucky to run into people where I live. I'll be honest with you. Well, Miss Caramel, 95. It is because for the last 5 years, white males have been completely vilified in the media. And these people are behaving as children. And instead of condemning people like these two and condemning Al Sharpton that weaponize race, which doesn't even go with the statistics, instead of being adults and just pointing out the bad behavior and saying we won't partake, they want revenge. And I'm not for that. It's just like women, the girl bosses. We want all these movies where it elevates women, but in order to elevate the woman stands on the throat of the man and makes the man look dumb and shit. And I'm like, no, we don't make men look stupid and dumb next to women. Fuck off. I'm this way with everything. I'm all about justice. And it is not justice to start behaving the same way as the evil fucks we hate. That's how I feel. If there is any community that commits more crimes, we have to figure out why. I think the black community is targeted by propaganda more so than anyone else. I feel awful for them. We should find the people targeting them with this evil propaganda, and they should be held accountable. But a black American's an American. Like, you are my neighbor. The end. But a murderer is a murderer, and fuck you. But yeah, anyone that like does this race stuff, I'm like over it. Over it. Both sides, even though only one side's weaponized it hardcore. Done with it. Well, CNN's awful, but I believe Fox News is too. So that's what I believe. Like, I just, you don't think that they're more prone to violence? I believe in statistics, but I also believe the black community has been abused by politicians for decades, lying to and manipulating them to have them as a voter base. I believe in propaganda being very powerful. I believe in MK Ultra, and I won't blame the victims of our government. I will blame the government and the institutions doing this 100%. But as a whole, like a community, no. Sorry. Because Italians used to be mobsters. And we had to rise up and hold our people accountable. And then that shit stopped. And then we had to clean up our image. So I was part of a community that was once looked down on. And it was discussed in my family that we don't associate with these kind of people. You know what I mean? Just like if you know someone in a gang in the Latin Kings or something, you shouldn't associate with them. Shun them from polite society. You know a mobster, shun, shun, shun. It's time to shun. Shun them. Anyway, I'm anti-criminal. And if we get them all off the streets, then our culture changes, and then life is good. White, Indian, Mexican, Asian, I don't give a shit. Get out of here. We're done. Guys, I sell Avon. I'd love to be your Avon lady. Do you need one? Do you need an Avon lady? Because I sell Avon. AdrianneCurry.com, and you will go to my Avon store, which you'll see my little happy face up in the corner.
Here we go. And there it is. Look at that stupid happy face up there. See it? It's right here. Look how dumb I am. Upper right corner. But yeah, like, okay, the majority of people who rape people, right, are dudes. They are. But women do that shit too. Look at all the teachers in high schools and stuff. So I ain't playing no more. I ain't playing no more. So if that means the majority of people locked up for being rapists are dudes and there's some chicks there too, bye, Felicia. I'm not playing who does what more. They're pieces of shit. Get them out of polite society. The end. And then everything solves itself. Everything. The stats are we let criminals back on the streets. Get them out. Done. Instead of lessening someone's sentence for good behavior, they should increase their sentence for bad behavior. Yep. 100%. 100%. By the way, they unfollowed me from your page recently. I had to follow again, was wondering why I wasn't seeing you. They have done that to masses of people who liked my Facebook page. I get tons of reports that I am never in anyone's feed and that they unlike the page. It's crazy. They do it on Instagram too. Crime is crime. So easy. I don't care what you look like. Because to me, evil teacher that preys on like a 12-year-old boy, like some woman, is just as bad as some evil dude that preys on a 12-year-old girl. And I don't care who does it more. But I feel like we cover up for women a lot because they have been laying the schools to waste recently. It's just been naughty and bad. But yeah, adriancurry.com to shop with me. I'm glad we all agree. Who gives a crap who anyone is? Criminals are criminals. F them. And do not start behaving like Al Sharpton if you're white. We all don't like him because he's a race hustler. But if you're white and you start race hustling this crap, you're a dickhole too. You. Okay. Love you guys. I will see you all hopefully this Friday.